guys, Ryan here from the Ants America Ant channel, and today we have multiple bins of what look like just dirt, but if we actually give a quick look in there, you can see test tubes and ants. So guys, in these bins I have giant amounts of ants. Monomorium SP ants, to be exact. These ants are known in the wild for three major things. The first thing that they're known for is being able to make massive super colonies to help defend against outdoor predators and to just be the strongest ants in their area so they can out-compete for all the prey that they need. So in these bins, I have two different colonies of Monomorium SP ants. In these two bins right here, I got these from my friend Jake. Jake gave me these bins when I was talking to him about Monomorium ants, that I got a colony of Monomorium minimum ants from another friend, and he said he actually saw a Monomorium SP colony outside in his front yard, and he said he was going to go ahead and grab them for me and let me use them in the channel. So I said that was awesome for him to do that, and I am really excited that he gave me these. But it was weird what happened, because at the same time, another friend of mine, Luke, caught these ants. Monomorium SP. That's right, guys, the exact same colony. And when I told him about how my friend Jake gave me a colony of Monomorium SP, he remembered that these ants can make super colonies, which is the #1 cool thing about these guys. So, after I told him about that, he decided, why don't I give him this colony too, and he can make a massive Monomorium colony to fill up that brand new ant formicarium that you guys saw in the last video. So guys, here I have been throwing in test tubes and covering them up to let the ants naturally move into them, because test tube setups supply the ants with water, which will motivate the ants to move into that area. It's been working pretty well so far. I'm having no luck the last day or two with these test tube setups. I keep cycling them, moving them through, cleaning them out, putting in new ones. So whatever I do, the rest of the ants won't move in. But we did gain a massive amount of workers and queens. So not only are these colonies able to merge, but they're also, since they can merge, polygynous, which means you can have multiple queens in one colony. So in this colony right here, Luke told me that there's approximately around 20 queens that he saw. I've only seen like 4 in the test tubes I've caught, which means there are still tons of them in here. But I don't think I'll be able to get them. I'm going to have to give the rest back to Luke and let him put them back into the wild where he found them. Because I don't want to take all of the queens in the colony, because I'm just using a few of them to start my own super colony. So I got like maybe 5 or 10 queens from this area. So, and here, my friend Jake said he only saw around 3 to 4 queens in scooping them up, but lots and lots and lots of workers, and a lot of brood and larvae too. So I am really excited about what I've gotten from these colonies so far, and I think I've gotten enough from the outworlds in which they've come to me in, and I think the amount of test tubes we have full of ants will definitely suffice. So guys, let's go ahead and head down and show you guys our ants. Alrighty guys, so here we have all 7 of the test tubes that I've caught. They are filled with ants. Right here, this one is where the most amount of ants that we got are, and the most amount of queens. And this one is the least amount of ants, right here. So guys, let's get to showing you each individual test tube. Alrighty guys, so the first test tube we're showing you has 0 queens in it, a little bit of larvae, and a decent amount of worker ants. So here we are. That's the colony right there. So guys, you can see a few workers running around, some larvae to the right of the screen, and on the left of the screen you can see some workers working around the cotton. These ants love to manipulate the cotton in their setup, so I'm actually going to put a few cotton balls in their setup just to let them mess around with it, and I actually might just put a whole test tube setup in there just to give them some water, and they can use the cotton to manipulate their nests. This is the smallest amount of ants that I've gathered from the grouping, so yeah, take a good look at them guys. So the next grouping I received is much larger. That was definitely the smallest one by a good amount, and here they are. I'm going to remove covering. So as you can see, there is a lot of larvae in there. There is approximately 1 queen in this setup. She's kind of hard to see, They're all kind of tired right now. They've been moving around a lot, but there is a decent amount of larvae in this setup. Once again, like I said, this is the second smallest amount of ants that I've gotten. So there's plenty more where that came from. Alright, let's show you the next one. So guys, like I was saying earlier in the video about these ants having 3 special traits, the first being they can start super colonies, let's get to that second trait. It is special, and this is what they're known for, but it also kind of stinks in my my setup here, because these ants are known for having huge colony wars above ground. And if you can click the iCard right here, you'll see a video of these exact ants having an ant war. And you can learn about these ants. I was actually wrong about the genus earlier when I said that they're harvester ants. They actually are not. I'm sorry for giving you guys incorrect information about the genus of ant in that video. I did not know much about ant keeping when I was doing that, but now I know plenty more, and I'm pretty sure I'm doing everything right now, because I did almost like 2 hours of research on figuring out what these ants were, because I was really excited about them. And like I said earlier, they are Monomorium sp. So the thing in this video is, will this colony make a super colony or have a mega war? Make sure you guys stay tuned to the end to figure that out, because I'm really nervous to figure out what happens. Alright guys, we're going to start getting into the bigger number setups that actually have their sets of queen ants in here. I know this one has at least 1 queen, but I can't tell how many it actually has. I've seen 1, maybe 2, but I for sure don't know. So guys, there's the test tube with all of the workers and brood in there. Like I said, the numbers just keep getting higher. There are tons of workers and brood in this setup. And like I said, at least 1 queen, maybe 2. I cannot tell that well, but it's hard to find there in this giant cohort of workers. So let's get to the bigger number colonies, shall we? So these test tubes are a mix of Luke and Jake's colonies that they caught. Some of these have been from Jake's and some from Luke's. I haven't mixed them together yet, so we don't know if the ant war is going to occur yet or not, but it could still. Here we have, this is one of Jake's finds. This was an amazing colony. You can see there's gotta be at least like 5 queens just in this test tube. I mean, the amount of, it's like all eggs. It's insane. There's maybe a few brood and some larvae, but this, it's mainly eggs. The last 2 test tubes I just showed you were both Jake's. All the other ones have been Luke's. Luke's find was a bigger colony, but Jake's has a lot of queens, as you can see. Just look at all that. There's so many eggs in there. And they're really fresh too. I've actually caught, not on video, sorry about that guys, but I have caught a naked eye view of the queen actually laying an egg in the test tube I showed prior to this one. It was insane to watch. It was really cool. Let's give you guys a closer look. It's just an awesome colony right there. I'm really happy about them. Tons and tons of eggs. That's why I hope this becomes a super colony and not a mega war, because that would just be really sad to see all these go out. And if all these queens merge together, this would be a very, very, very big colony, because these queens by themselves are known to lay at least 100 eggs per day. Imagine what a group of 15 or 20 queens can do. That's 20,000 eggs per day, on their best days, of course. That's just an insane amount of workers. Let's get to the next test tube, shall we? So this is the second to last test tube I have for you guys, and this test tube has a pretty big colony in here. Once again, guys, they're not all separate colonies. I gathered these by setting test tube setups into the layouts, the dirt things, and this amount of workers in here is unbelievable. I've seen 3 queens in here, so that's really nice to see. And wow, look how many there are, you guys. 3 queens just in this test tube. It's just insane to see this many. And look at that, there's so many eggs, just like the other setup. This is from Luke's gathering of the colony, and as you can see, this is probably the bigger of the 2. Actually, the largest gathering of ants that I've got is also from Luke's. The 2 largest ones were from Luke's colony, and these are just insanely awesome to look at, the amount of eggs. I've actually caught a queen laying an egg in here as well, and actually, from my angle, I can see one of the queens, but if you guys look at the very top of the screen, right here, that is a queen, where all those eggs are under. So, you guys can actually see a queen right now. That's pretty cool. It's a good glimpse. That's only one of them though. There are three or four. I haven't seen the fourth, but I'm pretty sure I saw, maybe it just moved around, but I'm thinking 3 only in this setup. Let's give you guys an even closer look. There's just so many eggs, and they're so tiny. The Monomorium are known for their tiny, tiny eggs and tiny workers. But Monomorium SP ants, which is an undefined Monomorium, these ones have probably been the biggest Monomorium ants I've seen before and read about, which is really cool to see. But the one sad thing is that the worker caste and the queens are similar in size. So it's really hard to identify the queens. They're about just pretty big workers, kind of like a major, except they look like queens. This colony does not consist of any majors, so that's one sad thing. It's not like a Fedoli ant colony where they have huge polymorphism. But guys, it's okay. We can deal with it. Let's show you the last colony of ants. And, saving the best for last, another find in Luke's colony of ants is a massive group of them. I'm not lying to you here. This is the biggest amount, most ants I've ever seen in one test tube. Take a look, you guys. Oh my gosh. Just look at all of the ants in there. It's just unbelievable. There's so much brood. There's so many queens in there. I can't even see because all the stuff. I can't count the queens, but there's got to be a lot if there's that much brood in one chamber. I would cycle it around for you guys, but I don't want the brood to fall over, and I don't want to make the ants really mad. But if I can just, I'll turn it a little bit for you guys to see. There's tons of brood, and it's falling over because I'm doing that. So the ants are going to start getting a little upset. But the amount of brood in this test tube is just amazing. So the test tube that was before this one was probably the egg test tube, and this one was probably the brood chamber with the queens, maybe a few queens, but definitely more of the queens in the egg test tube because those are really fresh eggs. But I still see some fresh ones in here too. So guys, that was all 7 of the test tubes that we've acquired from these ants. So I am really excited to make a super colony with them, and we're going to go ahead and prepare our chamber for the super colony. Alrighty guys, so I read online that the Monomorium SP ants work with baby powder mixed with rubbing alcohol, baby powder mixed with Vaseline, and Fluon. So that's one awesome thing with these ants, is that almost every deterrent works on them. But the bad thing about these ants is that they're escape artists and always want to get out. So let me give you guys a few tips on applying baby powder dry to your nest. Alright, so what I recommend for you guys is you hold a piece of paper against the glass when rubbing so that you do not, so none of the baby powder drips down into your setup and causes an unsightly stain. Well, not really a stain, but like a marking. So just hold it firm against the glass and just rub the sides of it. And you can just move across with it. This stops a lot of it from falling, but as you can see on the sand, not all of it. If you do get some of it in there, just take your finger and just stir it around. It's all gone. Just make sure you're really careful around your air drying clay. It will stay on the clay and won't go away. So you want to make sure you're really, really careful about the clay. So you want to do 1 coat on each pane of glass, and then just do the coat a few times. Make sure you're extra diligent with the corners. I don't even rub on the corners. I just damp it on, and then pick it up, hold it against the pane, damp it on, pick it up. So like I said, you're still going to get a lot to fall, but it'd be like 2 to 3 times more than what we have right now. So the paper helps a lot. Another thing you can do is you can rub on top like that and just set some weird sort of ramp, and it will just catch all of the baby powder and not let really any get through. But it's a little too high. It's good. There we go. And you want to do 1 coat rubbing, and then you want to go back and do a coat of pressing. Catch all of it, put it back in. You want to just continue the same process until you have enough baby powder on all sides of your glass. So most of our baby powder on. Like I said, the corner is the most important part. You want to just dab it on that whole corner. I usually go all the way down on the corners. I don't want them to get up there, especially because my corners have rubber on them. I just go all the way down. If you do end up getting some on your air drying clay, don't worry about it. You can easily just cover it up with some sand or your substrate in your setup, which is a-okay. So, I got it all the way around. Looks like the walls are pretty baby powdered up. I did get some on top of the air drying clay. So like I said, guys, with your sand on the bottom, you can just cycle it around. So look in that corner right there, see how much baby powder there is? Now in just one quick minute or two, not even a minute, in just a few seconds, I can take all of that and it just practically goes away. It just gets buried in deeper and deeper, where the ants won't be able to get it because they can't dig in this hard substance. And it works really well. Honestly, I still need to rub around here. But basically, dabbing it on like this is the best way to do it because it applies the most baby powder to your container. So let me finish this up and I'll get back to you when we're done. Alrighty guys, we finished up on all the sides with our baby powder. But the last thing you need to do is you need to apply some baby powder to your topping. So if they do break your wall setups, you can if they do break your wall defense, you can easily stop them by just putting some on this here. You're gonna want to get a lot. I highly recommend doing this for your setup. If you don't have a lid for your formicarium, I highly recommend you do get one, just in case your baby powder blocking fails, which it shouldn't, but sometimes when a lot of ants are trying to get out because maybe they don't have enough nesting space, or if they want more food, you can tell if ants are hungry if they're trying to get out of the setup. But you should have your schedule set for your ants to feed them a lot, so I don't think that'd be a big issue. You're going to want to go on all panes of this too. If you just dab it on, it falls all the way through, so there's no real point in doing that. You just want to rub it across everything here. And I do recommend dabbing on the sides where that metal, where the plate is there for my setup, of course. If you don't have a lid at all, you actually can make a homemade lid pretty easily by taking rubber bands, putting them around the edge, and between the rubber bands and the glass, putting a steel meshing frame that is thin enough for your ants not to get through, which is pretty easy and shouldn't be too hard or costly at all. So guys, there we go. Just got everything set up. You're going to want to take this thing once and just drop it. Keep doing that. Look at that. Everything's still strong. Then you got rid of the excess ones so it won't fall into your setup. Just drop that on. This lid's pretty tight fit. And there we go. Make sure you clean up when you're done so you don't have baby powder all over. That's why I'm out in the garage, so we don't have any baby powder in the house. So we're all good with this. And we're going to leave you at a cliffhanger, guys. In the next video, we're going to show you guys, does the ant colony make a super colony, or will it be an ant war?